Alright, I'm here with the annual look at my game room, annual game room tour here. I do one usually every year at the end of the year, right around, well, I think last year, my last one came out in November. So I'm a little late this year maybe, but oh well. um, yeah, the game room's changed quite a bit. The layout in general, I got that new TV obviously. If some people remember, the TV used to be like over there, where the older TV is now, and it was on top of that cabinet there, and it was only a 26-inch Sony Bravia. So yeah, I upgraded to a 55-inch 4K LG TV, and then that older TV was hooked up to the surround sound, which is kind of pointless. But this room was built when I was younger, much younger, and HD TVs were barely becoming a thing at that point. They were super expensive still, so that was good enough at the time. So now this is hooked up to the surround. It sounds real nice, and everything's been real nice so far. I really like this new TV and this new setup. I had to move some stuff, some of the stuff out of the game room completely and put it in boxes until an expansion to this room is finished, which is being worked on now, and will hopefully be done by the next year's game room tour. So look forward to that, I guess. So I'll just jump right into my game room tour here. First with this shelf, which has my controllers on top of it, first of all, but it has my Sega Dreamcast collection here, my PS1 collection, as well as a Japanese Saturn game I found at a thrift store, which was really weird, and then a loose 3DO game that doesn't have the big box and everything. So there's that stuff there. Moving into here, we got some amiibo and these little cars. I like these little cars a lot. They were for Mario Kart 7. Just little toys. My Vita collection, which I'm a real big fan of the Vita. So there's my little collection there. Beginning of my DS collection, as well as this bigger shelf that I just put boxes on because I didn't really have anything to put here, and I didn't have room for these boxes, so I guess it worked out nicely. And then the rest of my DS collection, and my little 360 collection. Last gen I was more of a PS3 guy, so I didn't get a 360 till later, and still prefer probably to buy my games on the PS3. I'll start up at the top with these are the systems that I don't use as often, but I still have all the hookups ready to hook them up if I wanted to play them, but they're not on the usual setup. So I got a Master System here, a Genesis, yeah, Sega Saturn. Right behind, this is a box copy of Ace Attorney 3 for the Game Boy Advance that was only in Japan, obviously, for anyone who's a fan of the series. Genesis 3 is behind that. I got some Ace Attorney perler beads as well that I found at a convention for like really cheap. The guy had real good prices, and I think they're pretty cool. But behind that's you can barely see it, but it's a Genesis Sega CD combo. Moving in here, we got my 3DS collection. I'm a big fan of the 3DS, so there's my 3DS collection that continues on over to there. My Wii U collection, almost 50 games, I believe, in that one. Wii U kind of gets some hate sometimes, maybe deservedly so sometimes, but I really like the library. The library is real good. I think it's a good system. My PS4 and Xbox One games right next to that. PS4 is my primary system this generation, so just like I prefer to play the multi-plats on the PlayStation 4 if I have the choice. But I still got some Xbox One games, yeah, mostly exclusives. My GameCube collection here, which GameCube's my favorite system. I got a couple of those Player's Choice games with the yellow spine, which are kind of ugly, but yeah, here's my GameCube collection. Got some good titles in there. Still looking for a couple games. It's a great system. This is where you usually see in my videos is this angle. Here's my Box 64 collection, which is one of my favorite things to collect for. I don't really have these in order. These are in alphabetical order with my better games. And then here's some other games, not as good, except, there's like a Pokemon Snap and Bomberman 64 that I would like to actually move over there. But yeah, my Box 64 collection. My Genesis collection, which moves on into here, and those had to be double stacked for the time being because ran out of space. Over here, I showed the rest of my 3DS collection. My Wii collection, which is my second biggest collection under 64. But yeah, I really like the Wii. The system's a little underpowered, a little odd, but it has a really interesting library. I'd recommend going for it now, maybe collecting some Wii games now, because most of them are real cheap. It has a really neat library. You're in for a treat if you don't really do much with the Wii. The original Xbox, I got some games on the top because I ran out of space. And showed the rest of that stuff. So move on over here. Here's my HD setup as I showed before. TV. I recommend if you have, a lot of modern systems on HDMI to pick up yourself a switcher box here. You just plug them all in and then it even detects which one is turned on. So, I mean, if you have them all off usually and you just go to turn on, like, the 360, for example, it'll detect that. I don't think I have the 360 plugged into here, but real good investment. These are a little pricey. I got mine on Amazon for about $50, but, highly worth it since most TVs only have 3 HDMI inputs, and most of these collectors have more than 3 HD systems. So, that's cool. I got the Xbox One up top here. And then, 360 Wii U with the gamepad back there. PS3 and PS4 there. The PS4 was the 360 is that R2-D2 Star Wars one, which is, probably the coolest special edition system ever. And then that PS4 one, I think, came with Destiny. Yeah, it came with Destiny. I just like the white one. It's just plain white. That's the tripod I use to film my videos, and like a guitar. My NES collection. Those are all. Most of my games are usually in alphabetical order with, a few exceptions. 64 boxes and Genesis at the moment. And then I put the, off-brand ones at the end, just because, they don't really fit in with these. So. Then Super Nintendo. That one Killer Instinct, breaking up the flow there. And my recent, the most recent addition to my collection, the Master System. I got all these games here. They're all in their original boxes, everything. All these games, the system in the original box, and for $50 at a garage sale. So, real good deal there. My boxed NES collection, kind of small. I don't really find boxed NES stuff too much, and, NES is not my favorite system. I do like it, though. But I got some good ones. Final Fantasy, Kirby's Adventure, Star Tropics 1 and 2, Mario Brothers 2. Got a little Pac-Man glass I found at a Goodwill, too, there. Here I got my retro setup. Although retro, it has a Wii, but Star Wars Laserdisc framed there. Batmobile I made as a kid. The Zelda amiibo, I don't have anywhere to put those right now, so I guess I just put them there. But yeah, it has, all my older systems there. The Wii is doubling as a GameCube at the moment because I don't have space for a GameCube. But yeah, that's a pretty nice setup here. These are all also hooked up to switcher boxes. These are much cheaper since they're just composite, though. But yeah, that's the easiest way to do it. If you collect, or if you have a game room set up and you have a bunch of systems, definitely do it that way. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have enough room or spaces to hook up those systems I showed that were at the top of my shelves. So top up here, I got 2 64 drawers. These are filled with loose carts, and then I have a bunch of loose carts that are in boxes right now because I don't have anywhere to do with them, but they're mostly sports games and like racing games and stuff. You got the Gold and Silver Marios and Metal Gear Solid 5 Special Edition, as well as my PS2 collection, which PS2 is awesome. Real great library. Got some games up at the top just because I don't have room for them at the moment. And then there's my PS3 collection, which I really like the PS3 too. That's a great system as well. Maybe the system itself, the interface is kind of weird, but it has a cool library, especially with the exclusives. And then there's more PS2 games that I don't have room for because I find a lot of PS2 games. So I mean, I just constantly adding to the collection. Here I got just sat down on the couch and it creaked. This couch is real old. Here I have strategy guides, art books, stuff like that. Some cool ones there. Bayonetta 2 art book or strategy guide. Capcom character encyclopedia, as well as Mario Paint in the box and Power Glove. You can barely see, it's a little dark here. Got my box Game Boy collection here with, you know, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance. You really can't see that, I'm sorry. Luigi statue from Club Nintendo, when that was still a thing. I got my box Super Nintendo collection, which, again, it's kind of small, but I have some ones I really like. You know, Final Fantasy 2 and 3, Zelda, Super Castlevania 4. So that's cool stuff. And then here at the bottom, to finish it up here, is my PSP games, which I don't have a PSP. But I just pick them up because I find them all the time for real cheap. 2 box Game Gear games, if you can see them right there, they're purple. And long box games, long box PS1 and Sega CD and Sega Saturn games. So that's it there. I'd like to thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this year's look at the game room. It's growing, it's going to be expanding soon, hopefully, and you know, lots of cool stuff's happening. Always picking up games if I can. So check back next year to see how it changes, how it grows, and check back, you know, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Check out my pickup videos that I do. I also have done, you know, videos going over pretty much all my collections. There's a few I haven't done, but those are, but yeah. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.